I made another run at my Vectrex light pen circuit board, and again I've done the toner transfer technique here. And last time I used the Staples photo paper that was recommended on the internet pretty highly, and it didn't work so well for me. The boards ended up with a lot of slop on there. The lines aren't very clean. The text I put on there is largely illegible. And so another suggestion was to use the paper that magazines are printed on. In fact, they said you could just print it right on the magazine paper, because the ink from the magazine won't come off, but the toner you put on there will. So you can see where I printed my circuit here. I've also printed one here, and that's the one I used. And I'm almost sorry that I didn't show this whole process, but this board turned out about 1,000,000 times better than the one that I did with the Staples paper. And so what I did here is I laid the printout with the toner facing down onto the copper clad. I actually laid another sheet of white paper on top just to give it a little extra protection, because the newspaper or the magazine paper was a bit thin. I didn't want the iron to tear it. So I laid the other sheet of paper on top, and I used my iron again and really rubbed into it and just heated the heck out of it to where it was really hot. And so when I was done, I threw it in a pan of water here, let it cool off, and then I just used my thumb and I rubbed the paper off. So I'm about to dump this into the etchant and etch away the extra copper. Alright, so I've dropped my circuit board into the etchant here, and this is what it looks like. I'm using a plastic fork. You should use a plastic utensil in this stuff, because the metal will eat away. So if you use metal tongs or tweezers, it will not be good for them. And the trick to it is to agitate that, which is why I'm rocking this back and forth, because as the etchant dissolves the copper, you need to constantly agitate this so that there's new acid accessing those surfaces and continuing to dissolve. Otherwise, the dissolved copper will just sit on there and sort of block the rest of the copper from being etched. So we'll give this maybe 15-20 minutes and see where we get. Alright, I pulled the circuit board out of the etchant, and it really turned out fantastic. I know the circuits look white here, but they're actually, that's the toner, and when it is exposed to the acid and then dries, it becomes white like that. So what I'm going to do is try to remove this with some lacquer thinner, and then we'll see what the copper looks like underneath. Alright, I kind of got my camera propped up here. I'll see if I can do this. You can see as I rub it, the toner's coming off and exposing the copper. You can see how much has come off there. And let me give it one more shot with the clean lacquer thinner. You want to keep doing this until it comes clean and you don't see a lot of black left on your towel. There we go, right there. Look at that. So here's one of the finished boards that's been populated with chips here. You can see it fit on there very nicely. And this is the plug that goes into the Vectrex. Atari 2600 controllers have a similar one, but if you look at the end, all the pins aren't, there's not metal in all the pinholes there. They've only got wire running to the ones that are necessary for the Atari, and the Genesis is the only one that has all of the pinholes taken. So I'm able to use the 3 that I need for this. Alright, so here's the first batch of my light pens. You can see that I've cut all the boards up on the bandsaw, and I've stuck all the chips on. That part went very quickly. 3 leads, 5 volts, ground, and the sensor lead. And stick them inside the markers, which I've started already to pull these apart. And I need to clean the ink off of there, the label that's painted onto the plastic. The first marker I found was an old one that I had, and I was able to completely clean it off so it was white with lacquer thinner. So this is the brand new package I bought, And they must have changed their ink because I used lacquer thinner and it didn't even make a dent in it. So I'll be busy experimenting on ways to get that off of there, and then ultimately I think I'll make some labels to stick on that say Vectrex or something like that.